same immunities. Please deliberate freely. I would therefore ask you to introduce yourself, and thereafter, honorable colleagues introduce themselves, so that even as we meet in the streets, we're able to recognize each other by name, not only by face. So here's it. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning, honorable members of Parliament. We are from the Engineering Institution of Zambia. I am Engineer David Kamungu. I am the Registrar and the Chief Executive Officer.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members of Parliament. My name is Engineer Kennedy Msonda. I'm the Vice President for Policy, National Development and Public Relations for the institution.
Okay.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Engineer Edson Lungomesha. I am a member of the Engineering Institution of Zambia.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. Good morning, Honorables. My name is Eugene Hazere. I am the immediate past president of the institution.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Please, you can introduce yourself, starting with the immediate left.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Sande Chanda, Member of Parliament, Kanchibia constituency, Vice Chairperson of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Francis Robert Kapyanga, Member of Parliament from Pika constituency.
Good morning, witness. I'm Frank Simushi, Member of Parliament for Skongo constituency.
Morning, witness. I'm Joseph Esimu Sanje, Member of Parliament from Babara constituency in Chom.
Good morning once more, Chair, and welcome, witness. I'm Honorable Dr. Taro Chewe, Member of Parliament for Lubanseshi constituency, and I'm a member to this committee.
Secretariat.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, EIZ. My name is Darius Kunda, coming from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Luz Nanyangwe from the Secretariat.
And I'm Honorable Mubika Mubika, MP for Shangombo in Western Province, and the chairperson of the committee. So, EIZ, please, you are now free to deliberate.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm going to make our verbal submission, and the expert witnesses that are with me here will be able to comment later. Thank you very much. As an institution, we did receive a request to comment on the operations of Zambia Airways, and this report is being submitted as a result of that. In responding to the request at hand, of course, as an institution, we did seek to get some relevant reference information, and in this case, we wanted to have access to the MOU between Zambia Airways and our colleagues from Ethiopia, but we were not able to get that. In view of the above limitations, Chair, we therefore make our submissions. In terms of the policy framework, Chair, and legal mandate governing the operations of Zambia Airways, Chair, we are of the view that the Civil Aviation Authority Act and the Civil Aviation Act number 5 of 2016 provide adequate legal framework for establishment and operations of Zambia Airways. However, Chair and members, policy guidelines provisions from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics should be improved by engagement of qualified aviation experts. That's an emphasis from our end, Chair. There's need also, Chair, to cross-examine the signed MOU between the two parties and understand the compliance and operational efficiency of the individual parties. We'll just go into the benefits of having a national airline, Chair. From an expert point of view, yes, as an institution, we do appreciate the value of having a national carrier. However, there are some observations that we would like to make. Chair, number one is that the particular case to note is, of course, the seating capacity. Currently, we have the Dash 400, which we are using as operations as Zambia Airways, which has capacity of Series 400 goes up to 80, and some configurations go up to 90 seating capacity. The current airplanes and operators operating locally are limited for peak season. Inadequate loading capacity cannot support a major event, as currently on some days the capacity reaches near maximum. Zambia Airways Chair offers a larger capacity aircraft than other operators. However, the market still needs more stable and reliable product offering in the larger than 50 passenger aircraft. Secondly, Chair, the private operators are not optimized for route development, which only a national airline may be able to offer to foster growth in emerging destinations. Some of the other benefits, Chair, of course, are that Zambia Airways currently is the only operator that is offering larger capacity. That's a plus, and we are happy as an institution to support that. Zambia Airways also, Chair, can be harmonized to align operations to assist in route development. And further, the national airline can enhance the growth of the tourism, the agriculture, and air freight cargo. Chair, as you may be aware, we recently completed the development of our airport in the Copper Belt, which is meant to be a hub, and at Zambia Airways that can be used as a point of developing the capacity within Zambia. I'll go to the short and long-term mechanisms put in place to ensure profitability of Zambia Airways. Chair, as the situation stands, the chance that Zambia Airways will ever be profitable are remote. This is because the agreement between Ethiopian Airways and Zambia Airways is basically an aircraft crew maintenance insurance contract. This is also what you can call in simpler terms dump leasing. You normally enter into such agreements when you have issues with capacity and you want to fast track your running of business. In this case, Chair, our observation is that Ethiopian Airlines stands to gain in almost all aspects, as the services to be provided by ET have not been agreed upon by Zambia Airways and are not based on open market rates. An example of this is the payment for the Dash 400 that came to Zambia for the demonstration flight. ET has gained more than Zambia Airways by having exclusive rights to provide the following services. Number one, all senior management staff are employed by ET and have been seconded to Zambia Airways. Two, maintenance services. General maintenance agreements should only be entered into through open tendering on the market. We feel so. Chair, with your permission, allow me to pause and seek your permission. We've been joined by 3 of our colleagues from the Engineering Institution of Zambia, one of which is a media person who will be taking some pictures for our record, Chair. Thank you very much. I'll proceed.
Maybe they can introduce themselves?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Apologies for coming late. My name is Rex Harold Kalangu. I'm the Technical and Quality Manager at EIZ. Thank you.
You're not audible. Can you please? Just speak like a man, like an engineer.
I was trying to be humble.
Okay.
I said apologies, first of all, for coming late. Thank you so much. My name is Rex Harold Kalangu. I'm the Technical and Quality Manager at EIZ.
All right.
Good morning. My name is Ntala Shamtali Yulu. I'm the Public Relations and Marketing Manager at EIZ. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Chiabu Ngwengwe. I'm the Communications Officer at EIZ. Thank you.
Okay. Please feel free. Before you came, there is a minute which was.
Thank you, Chair. I'll proceed. I was discussing some of the challenging sales and revenue management through Ethiopian Airlines, and Zambia Airways is also restricted. The aircraft lease through ET to the financiers. The training of both crew and general staff training is also restricted. In view of the above, Chair, it is highly recommended that the business model, which has been adopted for Zambia Airways, must be reviewed to determine its profitability in the short term. As for the long term, Zambia should work towards adopting a business model that is outside the current partnership with Ethiopian Airlines. It is further recommended that the airline business strategy and corporate governance be reviewed as well as be shared services and equipment through partnership. I'll now go to the challenges that have been faced by Zambia Airways. The first one being the subleasing of the aircraft through AT is an extra cost to Zambia. I think the current relationship that support of the local airline. Two, Chair, expertise or management support contract between Ethiopian Airlines and Zambia Airways also is not sufficient. Chair, the cost of fuel is another factor that is very critical to the operations of Zambia Airways due to the volatile nature of course, factors that are outside us as a nation. Chair, the last submission under my comments here is relying on foreign expert skilled personnel will not develop expertise in our local technocrats. As an institution, we feel there's need for skills transfer. Zambia does have sufficient capacity to develop that. In terms of opportunities in its operations, Chair, Zambia Airways can position itself to access the emerging domestic and regional markets. Zambia Airways can also be a catalyst in growing local tourism, which is not being serviced due to limited routes. Zambia Airways can participate in the open regional and international passenger and freight market, which is unserviced at the moment. Further, Zambia Airways can tap into domestic and regional charter market because of the number of accords that we've signed, which I'll be referring to shortly. The skilled aviation labor pool, Chair, as I earlier highlighted, Zambia does have quite a large skilled pool. Zambia, as a hub, of course, Chair, we may be aware that Zambia is a landlocked country and central to most, Southern African countries, and there's huge, there's potential to increase air traffic, which presents an opportunity. As a nation, Chair, we are signatory to the YD and the SAATM Accords, which sort of opened, allowed for air-free traffic flow in Africa, and we feel that is an opportunity that Zambia Airways can easily explore. Our recommendations as we conclude, Chair, number one is that there is need to review the current MOU. Like we highlighted, Chair, the MOU has a lot of limitations. Yes, it's very good when you are starting, and yes, we are moving now as a nation, but where we've reached now, I think we need to relook at this MOU and sort of restructure it so that the benefits are skewed towards Zambia. We also need to pay attention, Chair, to the need for human capital development, foster smart partnerships to access wider markets, conduct industry benchmarks to ensure compliance to minimum standards. Yes, currently, Chair, we have the Dash 400, but is it the right type of aircraft? Maybe we should consider getting a 737 as a minimum, maybe, if we were to service the regional routes. I know there are cost factors, but you can imagine flying on a Dash 8 versus flying on a B37 737 to Johannesburg. The comfort levels are totally different. Again, it will be important, Chair, that the expenses incurred so far are reviewed and determine the efficiencies as such. Chair, our other recommendation is that line maintenance should be in Zambia. Issues of pre-flight checks, daily, there are some maintenance issues that Zambia has passed the threshold that we can do within ourselves. But we take cognizance that these are sitting in the MOU. General maintenance agreements and heavy maintenance should be procured from the open market as per the ZPPA statute. Chair, Zambia is a parastatal, and we feel that should be followed. Our other recommendation, Chair, is that Zambia Airways should employ more local pilots and support staff as we seek to grow. Zambia Airways, Chair, should be allowed to open source for products and services through the ZPPA Act. Chair, we submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As it for your submission, Honorable who has just joined us. I know you just stepped out. Please introduce yourself, and if you have a question which you already had, you can proceed.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm Sialuvalo Gift, Member of Parliament for Senazongwe constituency. I go ahead with it. Yeah, thank you so much. Witness, if there is any sector that needs to to jump on board in this case scenario, is under means of tourism, because that's where we have a lot of tourist attraction actually within the country, and also the Minister of Agriculture. You are talking of, you call it horticulture, yeah, horticulture, because that industry can flourish using the same Zambia Airways. Now, in your own view, 1 year down the line, do you think these sectors have taken advantage of the existence of Zambia Airways to sell their products, particularly because we have sometimes they do the road to Mansa, where we have some falls, Musonda Falls. Let me say the northern block, a lot of falls. We have game parks. Do you think Zambia Air, the Minister of Tourism, has taken advantage of the existence of this very good mode of transport for tourists? I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Frank Smush.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for your presentation. I've looked at your submission, and I'd like to quote this, where you are saying, as the situation stands today, the chances that Zambia Airways will ever be profitable are remote. Now, this is a very serious statement. Now, my question is, in the event that the MOU is not reviewed to address some of the challenges that you have identified in your report, are you proposing that we come out of this arrangement as a country so that maybe we can find a different model to use?
Thank you. I think for now you can attend to those.
Thank you, Honorable. I think the first one, I'll try to attempt it, and I'll let my colleague also speak a few words. As you've gotten from our submission, in terms of the facility that Zambia Airways has been providing, which is the Q400 plane, there is quite very less in terms of usage of it, because we've got Mahogany, we've got ProFlight also doing the local trips, and probably they are doing similar services. And in terms of Zambia Airways, it has got one advantage, as you've seen in the submission. Its seating capacity is bigger. It's a bigger plane. But there is, I think, more that could be done in terms of making use of this plane. Then I will also try to attempt a bit to speak a little bit on the second part. My colleague will also again make mention. As mentioned in the submission, as EIZ, we are strategically placed as a government institution there to support government development. And this MOU, as you've gotten from the submission, would have loved to see the detail so that we can better understand the document. And again, we are ready. Our doors are very much wide open so that we are able to provide advice as in our Act provision. And given the few things that we've picked bearing in mind these things were picked based on what we found, the facts we're able to find, but not from the MOU. Again, we can reiterate on that. So further things can be picked, I think, from the actual MOU, which I think as a committee you could have access to it. Then we are very much open, again, as an institution, to support this process, because we would want Zambia to get the best out of this. Then on the long haul, there is also the aspect of what direction we want to put as a country, as Zambia. Do we want to have this MOU run for 7 years, for 2 years, for it to go on like that? Or are we looking at a short term, then we get our own planes, we get our own crew, and we get a profitable institution running? I think those are the two submissions I can make, but I'll allow my colleagues to add in. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I will be a bit more direct in answering the second question from the Honourable. The question about the financial viability of this venture. In our report, we have expressed doubt that the Zambia Airways business venture is financially viable. We think it won't make money. Why? First of all, the agreement we've got with Ethiopian Airlines, in our view, it's captive. It's captive in a sense that we are sourcing everything from them. They are the major cost in the business. You go to our income statement, they will come under the second line, cost of sales. So, so we can only make profit as an airline if the Ethiopians allow us to. They're giving us the planes, they put the bulk of the management, servicing the planes. What stops them inflating costs to maximize value to their side? Because our loss is their gain, and they are our partners. So there is no alignment of objectives. Yeah? There is no alignment of objectives. You've got a partner who will benefit from the cost of the business. How does that work? It doesn't work. So we think that this deal can only succeed to make money for us as a country if the Ethiopians are kind enough. That's what we think. Now, also, there is one aspect which is worrying us as an institution, as a body of engineers, is that in this deal, we are saying the maintenance of these planes and the engineering associated will be done in Addis Ababa. Now, our engineers, our technicians, what are they going to be doing? So it's a problem. They can only be part of this maintenance if the Ethiopians give them a work permit to work in Ethiopia. Now, moving on, you see, these planes, they are being supplied by Airbus, Embraer, and the likes of Boeing. They are not made in Ethiopia. Why can't we have an arrangement whereby a plane is supplied by Airbus, Zambians are taken to France or whatever the place to go and learn how to maintain the plane, and then the plane is maintained in Zambia. We've got Zasta and the rest of the places teaching these things. Why can't we build our own capacity in engineering? Now, what we're doing through this deal is we've taken a sector of engineering, exported it to our detriment. Is another form of neo-colonialism. This deal is bad. It's very, very bad from our standpoint. And as engineers, we're not happy with it. We were actually fuming. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Chewe, and then Honorable Sialvano.
Thank you so much, Chair and witness. I know when you are starting anything, there are those difficulties. Now, I would like to write on the question that my fellow honorable asked, to say, since we have identified these challenges or disadvantages, what should we do as a country? And that question, I think, was lightly answered by our immediate past president. My question to you, engineers, sorry, Chair, because I took time to listen, especially on the issue of our people supposed to, given this employment that have been done by our colleagues, and here we are crying for jobs, but jobs have been taken out. So, in your view, I would like you to come straight on this one. If this MOU is not revisited maybe by our colleagues, what could be the immediate measure? I submit.
Thank you so much, Chair. Witness, you are leaving me in a very terrible state of shock. This agreement for Zambia to have a flag carrier, it never started a year ago. It started way back, so many years. And EIZ, you've been in existence for a lot of years, much older than even the initiation of this agreement. You are a government institution, Chair. Now, what you are dropping to the committee is a very big source of concern to say the government has made a move. A lot of resources have been spent. Talk of KK, purely because the government had a projection to say we should have such facilities before we own our own airline. Look at Simon Mansaka Pwepwe, Harimanga Nkumbula, to mention but a few. Now you are saying there is no glimpse of hope to the whole scenario. Where were you when this started? You are a government institution. Are you telling the committee that you were not consulted whatsoever? Are you telling the committee that your submission was totally ignored by the government? Because from the submission, I'm seeing a situation where Zambians will lose again. I need a clear direction from you as our witness. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable colleagues, any question? Honorable Smushi, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Clearly, EIZ paints a very bad picture as far as this deal is concerned. But I think we are in it, and maybe what we need to do is to look at what the honourable member is saying for solutions. The MOU between Zambian Airways and Ethiopian Airways is for 5 years. Is it possible for us to hold on up to the 5 years, and then maybe after that we take it 100% as Zambians to run this airline, and then maybe lessons learned, all these issues that have been brought up can be addressed? Because I'm saying this because I doubt if it would be possible for us to really address all these negatives that are being raised here, because there are just too many. Because I think doing so might just end up, you have a situation where the whole thing just collapses. I thank you.
Honorable Sunday, then we'll wind up with Honorable Munsanje.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, where I come from, we say that Munshinsha and Shiranya, which means that literally, don't change my diapers before I mess up. Okay. It also talks about, we also cautioned not to throw away the baby with bathing water. Clearly, I think I'll ride on the question that has been asked by Honorable Sialubalo, that if there's any misgivings from EIZ at this point, then maybe we must also be interrogating EIZ and the passivity by EIZ on this matter. For the simple reason that the direction, Chair, ought to be, what are we doing to, number one, ensure skills transfer, but number two, ensuring that there's opportunity for our engineers to benefit from this particular opportunity. The Zambia Airways arrangement is a marriage between Ethiopian Airlines and Zambia Airways, and we have 55% shareholding, they have 45% shareholding. The temptation, which should, in my view, Chair, be left for laymen like me, would be to, we are allowed to paint the whole arrangement with this big brush, you can paint it all black. But for an expert organization, institution, we expect that you're going to give us both the pros and cons. I think that should be the direction. Otherwise, it would be the 11 months or 1 year of ET's operation, and before we could look at their books, etc. Of course, we have every right to question and interrogate the partnership as it stands. But we may not be as conclusive because this is just a baby beginning to crawl. We can pick out certain indicators as threats that we think these are potential threats, that are potential pitfalls, but we might be presumptuous if we're to be so conclusive that the arrangement is skewed to fail. So I think as a word of caution, Chair, the reason I opened with those proverbs from the good people of Shangombo, that don't change my diapers before I mess myself up. Give me an opportunity to mess up, then you can change my diapers. I'll submit, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Munsanje.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much. I think listening to your presentation, to me, I would say you have a good appreciation of the issues and the like. And I'm just wondering if you have developed a position paper to engage IDC on the issues you have raised. Have you dared to develop a position paper that you could use to engage IDC? Have you taken any such steps since this agreement is a 2014 agreement and we are in 2023 now? What have you done to try and rectify some of those things, especially that it affects your sector very much? It's your sector that has lost those jobs that have gone to Addis and like, yeah.
Thank you. Please, you can attend to those. You can even share them. But before you do, I've seen one senior engineer also joining us. Can he please introduce himself?
Thank you, Chair. My apologies for coming late. My name is Captain Derek Luembe. I was a part of the Engineering Institution of Zambia paper which we presented to this committee. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm guessing the first time to attend the parliamentary committee?
Yes, sir.
It's your first time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the first time. There's a minute also conferred on you. You are free to submit according to your knowledge and ability.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So you can either share those.
Thank you very much, Chair, through you. Very, very briefly, our attempt to give concise responses to the issues raised by the honorable members. First of all, consultation. Where was EIZ? Were we consulted? No, we are not. You see, sir, EIZ may be a statutory body, okay? But we are not part of government. The ministries, they do work. They will choose to consult us on some issues. We have been consulted. Specifically, the Zambia Airways arrangement, our answer is emphatic. No, we're never part of this process. And we can give examples of other actions by government, key actions that took place where we ourselves were not consulted. It's not just EIZ. This particular issue we're dealing with, the problem with it is the structure of the deal. And the people who would advise you best on how harmful that structure is would be the Institute of Purchasing and Supply. What we have done is we have gotten into a partnership and given away the supply chain. That's a crust of the problem. It's a business issue. It's not engineering. Engineering is a victim. The problem is the structure of the agreement. You are getting into a partnership with someone, and then you are giving your partner the supply chain. The supply chain produces the business costs. So what does that mean? It means that your partner stands to benefit from the losses from the business. He is the cost. That's the issue. It's not an engineering issue. This is a business structure issue. The purchasing professionals would have a lot to say about this. So that's where we're coming from. So hopefully that has clarified one bit. Now, the other bit about maybe say, okay, maybe we are judging too early. Let's observe how things turn out, and then we can intervene. You see, here is a problem. We are flagging something that is a risk. The idea is that we need to find a way to manage it. It's a big risk because our partner is a cost to us, to the business. So we must be aware of it and see the best way to mitigate this problem, because we know that people's business mindset is to make profit. And 9.5 out of 10, what we are telling you is going to come to pass. Unless the Ethiopians are very, very nice people and they love Zambia so much that they would like us to prosper at their expense. That's where we're coming from. So yes, we need to flag this so that you'll be aware of it, honorables, and you know that it is a risk going forward. What can be done about it? We're saying MOU agreement, MOU, let's just be specific. Where we're at now is an agreement. It's not an MOU per se. It's an agreement, shareholder agreement, okay? And it spans longer than 5 years, sir. The shareholders agreement. What do we need to do to improve the situation? It's always not impossible. It's not abnormal business practice to sit with your partner and say, we can panel this thing, panel beat this thing here and there. We can improve this by doing X, Y, Z to the extent that the business will have a better chance of success. We're not saying what we are saying out of spite for other nationals, but really where we're coming from is that we are saying by design, this deal can't work. We are engineers who design things. If you know that this building will collapse by design, it becomes a problem.
Can I?
By design, it can't work.
Chair, with your indulgence. Witness, have you looked at the model, the Malawan model, Ethiopian Malawan Airways model?
The chair, sir, and honorable members, from our presentation, I think at the beginning, we made mention that there were some documents which were not availed to this to us. This was we wanted to look at the lease agreement. This is the lease agreement for the aircraft. As the members may know that these aircraft
I'm asking about the Malawan model. Has a witness looked at the Malawan model?
Yes.
With ET?
Those, but the Malawian model, we looked at it. All I can comment, just summarily, is that ours is even much better.
Chair, is a witness, if our arrangement is even better than the Malawan model, are you aware that the Malawan model posted a profit in 2022?
The mic.
The chair and the honorable members, I may not be aware, but I'm looking at it from the maintenance point of view, that the maintenance and the lease agreement point of view, because these two components, they are very, very critical to determine whether the profitability level is going to be sustainable or not sustainable.
Witness, that's why I'm putting it to you, that had you looked at the Malawan model, which in your own words you say is better, ours is even better than the Malawan model. And the more reason why I'm talking about the need for us to guard against being presumptuous, because under 2022, Malawan Airlines, under that marriage with Ethiopian Airlines, has posted a profit.
Yeah, through the chair, as the honorable, you've put a very good point about the profit. The profit is an output from the income statement. Now, it will be very interesting to see how that profit was generated. You see, profits, they can come from operations and even disposal of assets. We would be very interested to see the income statement, the financials, and examine if the operations themselves are profitable. That's the one thing. But nonetheless, honorable, we get your point. What we're flagging to this committee is that the business arrangement we've got with the Ethiopians is toxic to us by structure. That's what we're saying.
The more reason, engineer, I'm saying to you, that what you want to give us is your expert opinion, and not being presumptuous. And not being presumptuous, because you said in your own words that the essence of any business is to make profit. So if the essence of a business is to make profit, and I'm saying to you that the same marriage as our marriage with Ethiopian Airlines has posted a profit in neighboring Malawi. What is toxic about being able to make a profit? Those I submit here.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, so the point I was trying to drive to you, honorable, is very simple. I said you can make a profit in an income statement from operations or investment income or disposal of assets. I said we would love to see how that profit arose. Because just because a company made a profit does not mean that the operations are profitable. These are simple accounting principles. So for now, we take your point, sir. It's something worth looking at, but our position is not being presumptuous. We are saying that the way the deal has been designed is that we are giving away the supply chain to a partner. And any business person, accountant, financial analyst will tell you that that is a dangerous thing to do, to give the supply chain to your partner. It's very risky. But we get your point. See how how that profit was realized if we were to look at the income statement. Because profits, like I said, you can make from your operations, as the selling of your tickets, disposal of assets, or indeed income, rental income from the buildings that Malawi Airways has owned for 20 years. That's what I'm saying. So, 1 second, sir.
Thank you, and without indulgence of the chair, thank you so much, witness. I think what I would put, take interest in the, look, Malawi started out with a loss. You know, they first posted a loss, and they recovered from a loss to post a profit, and that's what I'm putting across, chair, that it's important for the witness to look at, interrogate the Malawian model, and then guide us accordingly. And I think that would be helpful for this sort of deliberations. I submit.
Yes, please. But are you done with all the questions that were posed?
Yes, I think he's covered the majority of the questions. But, Chair, I just wanted to quickly submit that we are in no way advocating for the divorce out of this marriage with Ethiopian Airlines.
Yes, please.
Sure, thank you.
No, that is well taken. There's even advocating for that as well. And we are just interacting. We are just trying to get advice from you. And from your submission, whatever you've submitted, is where we are going to come up with a report to see how we can go about it. We are brainstorming, in short. Yeah, we're brainstorming, so don't feel hard taken on. No. We are not interrogating you, but we just want to, you know, see both sides of the coin, so that when you leave, we are now well educated about whatever is going on and what we are supposed to do. So maybe don't feel that, you know, we are interrogating you. No. Please, as we said, feel free to submit. Honorable Taulo, we are winding up now because the last one, quick one, straight to the point. But before you do, we've just been joined by our only female MP. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Chair. Sorry for coming late. Good morning. I'm Tasila Lungu, Member of Parliament for Chawama constituency. Thank you.
You're welcome. Honorable Taulo, under 1 minute. Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay. So, I'm sure any closing remarks from you?
Perhaps I could just submit the chair something,
yes,
which is very important, which I feel.
Yeah.
As an institution, as EIZ, like I mentioned in my preamble comment, we're a strategic statutory body with over 65,000 members with a lot of engineering expertise in Zambia.
Yes.
And our institution is aligned to development of our country. And we've been actually advocating for Engineer General's office to be set up, because I can assure you, Chair, and the members of Parliament, certain things like these could be interrogated at that stage.
Okay.
Because we have got that office that is able to do it. That's why we've got Accounts General's office, Auditor General's office. These are important offices. So we've been advocating for this to be also formed, so that as a country, we can leverage the benefits. We've had a lot of pronouncements we hear as EIZ. Our president has gone to Congo. They're talking about electric car manufacturing. Where again, engineering, because we are sitting just under a line ministry. But if we have this office, I can rest assure you we're headed for development. I submit.
Okay.
Thank
you. No. Yes, thank you very much. Some of us were laymen, so when we have this opportunity of interacting with you, we want to be educated on some of the issues. So it's just a pity that we're not consulted at the time the MOE was coming up, but we appreciate your input very much, and I want to commend you that even the former president, how do you call it, president, is still with you. Institutional memo, that is very good. I want to commend you for that. I want to commend the senior engineer also who has joined us. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not to be like us politicians where when you leave office, your enemies with the one who has taken over. No. This is how it should be, and that is very commendable. I'm really happy that even you are finding time to still give your input. It's very, very good. So EIZ, we are very thankful for your submission. Please have a good day. But before you leave, please, the immunity remains here. You are not allowed to carry it out. I know you have EIZ immunity out there. So thank you very much. Please, we'll still call upon you again when need be. So thank you very much for today.
Thank you, Chair.